Hi, I'm Steve, the introverted traveler. I've made it my mission in life to explore the beaches, deserts, mountains, and even cityscapes around us, and to do so while avoiding contact with as many people as possible. And although I will never hang out with you for any reason, I do invite you to join me on my journey. Come and see the world through the eyes of an extreme introvert. On this edition, we are exploring the Lyle cherry orchard near the town of Lyle in southern Washington. Along the way, we will take in awesome views, stomp through creepy woods, and read 1,000 weird trail information signs. All this and much more on this Introverted Travels. I am giddy with excitement. Check this out. This trail allows hiking, but camping is banned, smoking is banned, touching and possibly fondling plants is banned, dropping cubes out of the palm of your hand, banned. UFOs are banned. Political assassination is banned. Riding what appears to be a very square pony is banned. And sitting on a circle while leaning over another circle is banned. Everything is banned out here. The trail is as restrictive and grumpy as I am. I think I found heaven. Greetings, and I'm back yet again on yet another adventure. And today, today I may have finally found perfection. I may have finally found heaven. I may have finally found nirvana. I may have finally found introvert Mecca. Because I am, well, as you can see, I'm out here in the muck, the mire, the haze, the clouds, the rain, the moisture, the wet, whatever you want to insert. It's the same crap I say in every single video that I've been filming for the past 2 months, because it is winter here in the Pacific Northwest, and no matter what word I use to describe it, really the only thing I need to say is ah! So it's a rainy day, but I am out in the Lyle cherry orchard near Lyle, Washington, on the Washington side of the Columbia River Gorge. And when I got to the trailhead, guess what? There was nobody there. Absolutely zero cars except for mine. It is empty. It is blank. It is wonderful. So I may have finally found introvert Atlantis, because there's literally nobody here, at least at the moment. Now, what I will say, as I just did, is the weather is, well, the Pacific Northwest, once again, is Pacific Northwesterning. There are weather warnings all over the place for the Cascades. Luckily for me, I didn't have to go through the Cascades or in the Cascades. I went through the Columbia River Gorge, which I guess is technically the Cascades, but it was just raining. But now I'm out further east. I'm almost to the Oregon version of the desert, and it is wonderful. I am here, the Lyle Cherry Orchard, 540-acre preserve protected and maintained by the Friends of the Columbia River Gorge, a conservation group dedicated to preserving and stewarding the natural wonders of the gorge. And they also seem to be dedicated to preserving and stewarding absolute brilliance. No humans are anywhere around here. I've seen no one this morning. Now, I'm only about a quarter of a mile away from the trailhead because I was so giddy that I just had to turn on the camera and make this introduction section, but there's no people. Absolutely no people. However, there are people leavings. So I know they've been here, and I know there's always a possibility that they could show up after me, come up the trail, pick up the pace, and give me a good morning. Oh, but let's hope that heaven and serenity holds, and I have the trail all to myself. All right, so I've literally told you where I am and already gone through the meat and potatoes in like one long diatribe of mental illness and borderline insanity. But according to wonderful, beautiful nuclear waste dump all trails, it's around a 5 or 6 mile hike depending on what I'm doing. There's a couple of versions of the hike that I may conglomerate into a single version and do about 6 miles. So we're gonna say give or take 5.5 to 6 miles. But this is all trails, so give or take 5.5 to 1,000 miles, because, say it with me, all trails sucks. But you know what doesn't suck?
Literally the end of the world, apocalypse level, empty, brilliant silence.
This may be the video in which I actually get what I want. The dog may catch the car in this video. And then what the hell am I gonna do? I mean, if there's nobody here, what am I gonna complain about? I mean, I already know what I'm gonna complain about. I'm gonna complain about the fact that there's literally nothing to complain about, and we'll go from there. But, you know, I am a professional, and I'll figure out something to complain about no matter what. Don't worry, there will be complaining in today's video. Well, this is interesting. First of all, white colonists came to this continent and used different means of genocide to steal the land and take it away from the natives who were already here and had been here for thousands and thousands of years.
But we put up these lovely signs along trails and hiking areas where we've stolen the land, honoring
those that we've stolen the land from, while still keeping the stolen land. I mean, I've made this rant before. If you really want to honor those that you stole the land from, give the land back.
But this particular sign is interesting because I'm out here.
I wouldn't say I'm out here in the middle of nowhere,
because I'm out here, you know, near civilization, but I'm out in the Columbia River Gorge. But this particular sign says, today, indigenous tribes continue to steward the lands and waters of the Columbia Gorge just as they have for more than 10,000 years, by leading efforts to protect the gorge from threats like development, pollution, climate change, and Donald Trump.
Okay, I added that part, but it's true.
Scan the QR code to listen to a reading of Mountain by indigenous poet Ed Edmo, raised at Celio Falls with Shoshone Bannock tribal affiliation.
Basically, these signs, aside from, you know, honoring Native Americans while still trampling all over Native Americans, they're using technology.
Look, there's a QR code.
There, quick, get your phone, put it up to the screen, and take that QR code. And then you'll hear whatever poem that wants you to hear. But so much for my facade that I'm out here in the middle of nowhere on a rugged hike.
No, the trail signs are explicitly telling me to take out my cell phone and scan the QR code to listen to music.
I like natural, rugged, middle of nowhere, but I'll take Native American flute music. I'm not making fun of that, but
do we really need to start incorporating technology into our nature hikes?
And can't we just let nature be nature? And if we're going to put up signs saying it's horrible that we took the Native American land and we love Native Americans, can we just give them their damn land back, and it would save us from having to put up a sign? Oh, look, more things to bring me out of nature and back into civilization.
Geology, drama.
Drama.
As you stand here gazing over the Columbia River right there. Imagine Ice Age floodwaters up to 1,000 feet deep, surging through the valley.
I mean, I don't have to imagine it. I've seen the new Princess Tiana ride at Disneyland on YouTube, and I think that's about the level of water they've got going on that thing. So,
carving out the basalt palisades you see around you. Basalt palisades. And leaving behind unique geological formations like buttes, hoodoos, landslides, and massive gravel deposits. Scan the QR code to listen to the Ice Age Institute geologist Lloyd Decay guide you on an immersive audio tour.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. An immersive audio tour when I'm out here trying to get away from, well, frankly, immersive audio tours and humans. Well, this is in no way surprising and or unique. All trails led me in the wrong direction. I think I'm supposed to go straight
And I don't know what the hell All Trails is doing with its map, but if I go straight, I'll hit the trail
Trail anyway that it wants me to go on, so I'm gonna go straight
because that's where the signs are pointing.
But All Trails started marching me towards a cliff. Does that surprise anyone, anywhere, in any way? I mean, seriously, All Trails, your death plots against hikers are just getting really obvious. Why don't you just put a giant sign that says All Trails says jump off here with an arrow pointing to the edge of the cliff, because that you're getting that obvious.
So yeah, All Trails wanted to kill me over there, but I'm gonna keep going this way.
I'm smarter than you, All Trails. You try to kill me every single week, but so far it's Introverted Hiker 117 or how many hikes I've done. All Trails 0. I mean, you've come close many times. You've come close, but I'm still alive, All Trails. Well, I figured out the problem. All Trails' maps are like a decade old.
That right there, that phantom trail that's overgrown and clearly not actually a trail anymore. There's some old marker signs that are gone that lead to the actual trail that I'm on right now. That is where All Trails wanted me to go.
So not only does All Trails try to kill you on a daily, weekly, monthly, whatever basis you use it, and
I swear it was marching me right over there. I would have died right there if I had followed All Trails.
But not only that, it was trying to get me to use
A trail that probably has not been in existence since the Reagan era.
So that's the technology that All Trails uses to guide us in dangerous, wild situations. 1980s mapping technology. In All Trails, the Soviet Union, by the way, is still around, and Hawaii and Alaska have not yet become official U.S. states. Those are the maps that All Trails is using. Okay, I'm no expert in, well, anything whatsoever, but I think I'm in a cherry orchard. Of course, the name of the trail is the Lyle Cherry Orchard, so what gave it away? But
I think these are cherry trees. I don't know the history of this place,
despite the 10,000 signs that were lining the trail but have suddenly disappeared. I'm assuming that this used to be, well, okay, let's just say the obvious. This used to be a cherry orchard.
Because the way these trees are all planted here, very orchard-like. And I'm assuming these are cherry trees. Again,
I know nothing about nothing, and I don't know anything about anything, so I'm assuming that somebody out there is going to say, oh, that's a cherry tree, or no, that's not a cherry tree, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, not all of us have a merit badge in botany. Thank you very much. But
yeah, I think that's where I am. I mean,
pretty obvious since the whole hike is called the Lyle Cherry Orchard, and I being a cherry orchard, but when you actually see it, you're like, oh, that's why they call it Lyle Cherry Orchard. I'm not always the quickest to catch on to certain things, folks, but
yeah, looks like I'm in a cherry orchard.
Oh, look, we get another one of these. Legend of the Gorge.
Stretching 1,243 miles from its source in Canada to its mouth on Oregon's Pacific coast, the Columbia cuts through the entire Cascade Range as one of the most powerful rivers in the United States. Every tribe living in and near the gorge has its own legend of the creation of the mighty river, many of which feature coyote as the creator or a guiding spirit.
So, despite the fact that the white colonists from another land came here and tried to destroy not only the people but also their legends and myths, now we've got a trail sign on stolen land talking about their legends and myths and stories and creation stories and things like that. So I don't know, when you really look at history through my eyes, it's kind of jacked up, because I think the reality is history is kind of jacked up.
But hey, out there is the Columbia River. We're in the Columbia River Gorge. It's utterly beautiful. And according to the Native American myths and legends, coyote was responsible for all of this.
there's the, if you want to look at the QR code, yeah, you can, there you go, scan the QR code, and you can actually listen to the this in Legends of Coyote, which I actually might listen to later, the indigenous legend of the creation of the Columbia River Gorge. That may be kind of cool, but right now I'm just trying to survive my hike here in the Columbia River Gorge over muddy and rocky and steep trails. So I'm trying not to die, but please feel free to listen to the legend of creation while I try not to die. Oh, looky, more human-made trail signs that pull us out of the solitude and serenity of our natural surroundings so we can hear something that humans want us to hear.
This one says wildlife superpowers. Wildlife of all kinds are equipped with special adaptations to survive in their unique environments, including 5 species that reside all around you at the Lyle cherry orchard: Peregrine falcons, fence lizards, western gray squirrels, Lewis woodpeckers, and western rattlesnakes.
Rattlesnakes are scary.
Scan the QR code, blah, 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 blah. Go to our website and look at it on your phone as you're walking through the cherry orchard so you won't notice when you step on the rattlesnake.
Maybe the signs are trying to kill us as much as All Trails is, but no, that's cool. There's rattlesnakes in this area. Of course, it's the dead of winter and there's no rattlesnakes anywhere, but you know, much like the wildlife, I have a superpower too. It's my sonic ability to bitch, moan, and complain. Even when there's literally nothing out here to bitch, moan, and complain about, I find something. That's my superpower. And that's why I'm able to survive alongside the squirrels and the rattlesnakes and the peregrine falcons and the other people that occasionally come out here. But there's nobody today, so I'm happy. Well, this is the new one, All Trails. I'm on the absolute right path. I see I'm on the green path that All Trails has, but it's trying to tell me that I took a wrong turn. I think it's wishing that I would take a wrong turn because, as I've already established many times, All Trails hates me and wants to kill me. I don't blame it, because I've made approximately 10,000 videos where I expose the fact that it's an awful, terrible app, and the people who are programming it, running it, and putting it out are complete and total morons.
But this is the new one for even All Trails. It looks like you've taken a detour from your planned route,
even though you're on your planned route. So I guess a bug report. I need to file a bug report, All Trails. Your app is sucking in a way it hasn't sucked before. It's telling me I'm on the wrong path when I'm still on the right path. So maybe take all the boxes of loose paper and archive material and all the candy wrappers and soda bottles off the desk of whoever programs this. Find where the keyboard is buried, where the mouse is buried, pull it out, and maybe program your app not to suck for once. I mean, can you just do that? Just me a little favor and just do that? Maybe just once? Because it's trying to kill me, but I'm actually on the trail where it wants me to be. So your guess is as good as mine, All Trails. But my guess is you suck. So that's probably pretty accurate. I'm gonna go get lost, I guess, on the trail that your app tells me to be on. So get working, All Trails. Boy, do you have a lot of it to do. We've been to a lot of places that fall into the category that I'm about to talk about, especially here in the state of Washington. But seriously, this place is giving off bring a body out here and bury it vibes. I mean,
it's an old abandoned cherry orchard, or it's a natural cherry. I don't know. It's a cherry orchard
of some kind. I don't know the history behind anything, but yeah.
This is, I mean, there's hardly anybody out here. It's up on top of a mountain. It's in the middle of freaking nowhere.
And it's just abandoned cherry orchards as far as the eye can see. And that means that you could
easily pick one, dig a hole, bury your victim,
or if you want treasure, that would be good too.
And then walk away like nobody would know. No one would know because
There's just hardly anybody out here. Right now, it's just me. And by the way, videos like this are what you get when it's literally just me. I'm just out here by myself. I can't complain about other people because...
What other people? The only other people out here right now at the moment
are the dead victims who are buried at the base of probably many cherry trees. So, I mean, they're not saying anything, so I don't have anything else to talk about. So I'm just gonna start making up random shit.
So, that's exactly what you get. Random shit about dead bodies and cherry trees.
And there's a weird bird thing that way. So the next video, I'll probably make up some stupid idiotic story about whatever the weird bird thing is.
But for this video, there's bodies everywhere out here.
This isn't a cherry orchard. It's a murder orchard. Falcon nesting area. Quiet, please. Stay on trail. Why is it just for the falcons? Why can't they put up a sign for me that says introvert area, quiet, please, stay away from them, and also stay on trail? I mean, I'm an endangered species too. I'm just struggling to survive in this world. Can't I get a leave him the hell alone sign? Please, can somebody give me a leave him a hell alone sign for the trail? I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Well, according to the viewpoint mark on the All Trails map, this is the area that users consider to be the scenic views of the gorge. So over here we have a burned out log of some kind, and in front of us we do have the gorge, but there's like cherry trees in front of us, pine trees in front of us, and I think that the camera is actually aimed in the direction of Dalles, Oregon, which is not a scenic thing at all. So there were scenic views on the other side. You saw those in this video. No, this is what users think we want to see. And it's not ugly. I mean, I'm not really making fun of it, but it's not the best views. Even if I crank over in this direction, you can see, I mean, there's cherry trees in this direction too, but you can see there's more beautiful things in that direction. So I wouldn't call this the scenic point. I wouldn't put this under. There's a lot of places in this hike where you could put those little dots and say, hey, look at this. It's really scenic here. Look at this. This is really cool. The burned out log, it's just not one of them. Unless you're into burned out logs. Now, I'm making fun of it, but I know, especially here on the internet, that there's probably a whole group of people that are huge fans of burned out logs. So if you're a logophile, there you go. There's your log porn for today. It's a burned out log here in the creepy Lyle cherry orchard in the Columbia River Gorge. It's very burned out. All right, so I just completed the cherry loop. That actually sounds kind of dirty, but I just went through the cherry orchard on a loop according to the All Trails map. And now it's time to head back. Now I may throw in a little bit more towards the end because there is another map that I can use that has a little bit that I haven't done. But yeah, for the most part, All Trails, this whole point was to take you up a mountain, bring you out here in the middle of the really creepy murder orchard, take you on a cherry loop, and then apparently take you back. I mean, at least it didn't just leave me in the cherry orchard this time. Usually All Trails will do that. It will just say, here's the middle of a creepy, weird trail orchard where they bury bodies. See ya. But no, this time it's actually telling me to go back in this direction. So I'm gonna go back in that direction. And hopefully I won't step over any human skulls or protruding femurs or whatever's out here in this incredibly creepy, very quiet, weird cherry orchard. It's probably beautiful in spring, but right now, it's where people go to die. so I'm back to this superhero animal sign thing, whatever it is. But this is the part in which I turn on the second map that I had, which is also a loop of this trail, but instead of going back the way I came,
It's actually taking me up the Discovery Loop or what, I don't know. There's signs out here and it says Cherry Loop. I already went on the Cherry Loop. Now I'm
I'm going to go on the Discovery Loop according to the new map, which is actually technically a shorter route because it's only 4 miles opposed to the 5 miles
through the creepy, weird cherry orchard over there.
But this will get me to part of the area that the other route will not get me to. It's all confusing, but it can basically be summed up by all trails sucks, its maps suck, and in order to get a really good hike
That has some decent mileage, I have to jury rig a bunch of stuff together with imaginary duct tape, and we're going to go that way as a result.
Does that make sense? So that's the Discovery Loop. It's going to literally loop around. It's going to go up higher than I am now, loop around, and then go back to the original trail that I started on. And there you go. A hike we finally have. This wouldn't be a thing if All Trails actually had decent maps, but we've already talked about the fact that All Trails sucks in detail today, but I feel like it needs to be reiterated. All Trails sucks. Well, there you go. I have now seen the same views from various heights throughout this hike. It is beautiful. It is foggy. It's a little gloomy. It's been raining, then it stopped, then it rained, then it stopped. In other words, the Pacific Northwest is a moody, moody thing. But at least it produces beautiful things. I mean, look at that. And the hilarious thing, at least for me in my geeky scientific mind, the water used to be at least to the level there where you see those rock formations down there. I think there used to be water down there. I mean, it was incredibly high. I don't know if it reached all the way up here, but
nature is frightening as hell. Nature is very scary. And right now nature is calm, but
at any minute, especially here in the Pacific Northwest, nature could get pissed. And when that happens, oh boy. I mean, I think it's bad when I forget to give my dog a biscuit after I've taken him potty. This is worse than that. And that's pretty bad.
So, yeah. I mean, most people who come out here are going to look down there and they're going to see the reflections in the water and they're going to see the clouds and the gorgeous scenery and the landscape and the geological formations on the mountains over there and the lines and all that stuff.
Me, on the other hand, I see death, destruction, and potential power to just wipe everything out ever. And that's how my brain works.
You guys see beauty.
I see death.
You guys see wonderment.
I see pain and suffering.
You guys see great views, nature, and the wonderment of geology and weather and all that stuff.
I see doom, gloom, and the abyss. The sweet, silent abyss.
So yeah, there's definitely something wrong with me, but
I don't know. I think my viewpoint's kind of cool. I mean,
a lot of you out there are looking at that and seeing a postcard. You know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing the cover of a heavy metal album.
well, fancy meeting one of these in the creepy forest here.
The oaks. Well adapted to the extreme wind and weather of the gorge, the Oregon white oak is a keystone species in oak savanna and woodland ecosystems like this one. They produce acorns that feed countless wildlife during the winter and provide habitat for more than 200 species, including the Lewis woodpecker, western gray squirrel, and western rattlesnake.
Well, there you go. We have a nature lesson here in the middle of the
incredibly creepy woods.
But at least now we know that the woods that are creeping us out so much because
They're incredibly creepy.
are oaks. So that means that oaks, by extension, are incredibly creepy. This is the type of logic that you too can display if you go to college for 8 or 9 years or however long I went. I mean, seriously, I have 2 degrees and I'm out here
reading trail signs and telling people how much the trees creep me out.
I'd say stay in school, but I'm the result of that. This makes me feel just wonderful while I'm standing on the side of a very high up mountain, or semi-high up mountain, right where the wind can hit me. Wind tunnel. Over the course of 2,500 years, Ice Age floodwaters carved a deep gash in the volcanic rock of the Cascades, eventually creating the Columbia Gorge. With cliffs towering more than 4,000 feet above the river in some places, the gorge now acts as a natural wind tunnel, thanks to the differences in atmospheric pressure between the Willamette Valley's cooler, misty air to the west and the hot, dry desert air to the east. These strong winds promote plant seed dispersion, provide air currents for birds, and offer water recreation opportunities like kiteboarding for the people. Yes, because that, of course, is the most important thing to come out of these natural processes. Kiteboarding for the humans. Don't forget to mention the fact that when the wind really gets gusty, the bald introvert goes flying.
That way. I'd go flying that way.
And I want to avoid that. So I'm going to go scurrying that way. Let's go. So, according to wonderfully awful and disastrous all trails, I have about 0.92 miles back to the trailhead. But according to the trail marker sign I saw about 2 seconds ago, I have about 0.8 miles left. So I'm gonna go with the measurement that does not have the track record of failure and potential murderous death of hikers, and that's the trail markers. So let's say I'm around 0.8 miles from the trailhead, and that means I'm around 0.8 miles from my car and 0.8 miles from my ability to get in my car and get the hell out of this windy, rainy, misty, very beautiful, but scary weather and area. So I think it's about time for us to do our trail rating. And just as a reminder, the trails are rated on an introversion scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst possible experience, possible scenario for an introvert. It's introvert hell, and that is Disneyland on the 4th of July. And that is the day in which the Walt Disney Corporation has schemed to inflate the price of churros to literally the cost of a new car. But their experiment fails, and they think by doing so that they can literally collapse the entire world and take over everything in the aftermath. But unfortunately for them, there are people in this world who really will pay $30,000 for a churro because people are gullible, I don't know. But at Disneyland, $30,000 is like pocket change anyways, because have you seen that place? It's expensive. But because prices are inflating, everyone's going nuts, fireworks are shooting off, things are exploding, the Matterhorn is literally having an avalanche. Minnie, Mickey, Goofy, Donald, they're all cowering. They're being shot at by snipers who are in the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. And for some reason, the pirates on Pirates of the Caribbean have come alive. Well, let's just add that to this ridiculous scenario that I only do every week because I've talked about this trail rating so many times and this scale so many times that I'm literally so bored. I just make up random bat crap crazy shit every week. But that is introvert hell. That is awful for an introvert. There would be noise, there would be disaster, there would be children running around with very expensive churros, and that alone is awful. So that's a 1 on our scale, and a 10 is literally the polar opposite. It's you or me, and probably in the middle of a field in Antarctica wearing a parka and surrounded only by genetically engineered murderous human-eating penguins. They see you as their leader, so they're not going to eat or kill you, but they're going to protect you. And there's no one around for hundreds of miles, but if somebody comes around, they're penguin chow. Quack, quack. So that represents solitude. It represents quiet. It represents bloody beaks and waddling through puddles of flesh and blood. And it represents introvert heaven, because literally there's nobody around except you and, again, a bunch of murderous penguins. But they're quiet. And well, they're not quiet, but they don't say good morning to you, and that's good enough. So that is a 10 on our scale, and that is introvert heaven. So on that incredibly stupid scale, I'm actually going to give this trail a 9. I was going to give it a 9.5, but the bad news is a couple of minutes ago, I saw 2 people. They weren't on my part of the trail. They were going up the hill that I went when I first got here, but they were talking and conversing. Luckily, they were far enough away. I didn't get any hellos. I didn't get any highs. They didn't shout over the field, "Oh, how you doing there, hiker?" I didn't get any of that asinine, rude garbage. No, I didn't get that. But their mere presence was enough to bring the rating down. So instead of a 9.5, because remember, nothing can get a 10, because you'd literally have to be surrounded by genetically modified penguins in the middle of Antarctica to get a 10. But it came damn close, because aside from those 2 people, there was nobody out here today. It was literally just me creeping my way through the scary cherry orchard and through the scary oak trees and through the rain and the mist and all that stuff. It was literally just me. It was just me, quiet, peace.
All this nature, all this solitude.
And my semi-coherent, possibly psychotic thoughts. I mean, that's all I had today, and it was wonderful. This was almost a dream hike. But then humanity had to show up and ruin it, as usual. So, it's a 9 on the trail rating scale. On the misery index, which of course runs from 1, which is complete fiction because it would be no misery, and I'm always miserable to one degree or another, to a 5, which is the worst possible misery on this planet, or really any other planet. And unfortunately for me, I break that scale constantly, all the time. I smash it to bits. I was about a 2 to a 2.5 the entire day, except for that very brief flash of people I saw going up a hill. And then that was probably a 4 because there were people. But aside from that, I haven't been miserable because there's been no one around. This is how I feel when humanity goes bye-bye. It's glorious. It's beautiful. But unfortunately, now I have to drive back to the pit in my stomach that is Portland, Oregon. And I have to go back into my house. I have to go back into my office, close the door, close the shades, and just wait for next Sunday to roll around. And that's pretty much what I do every week anyway. So I'm gonna go back and do my normal thing. But yeah, that's where we are on the trail rating today. That's where we are on the misery index.
This is where I am in nature and on Earth in general.
And let's go back to my car and let's get the hell out of here. All right, so I'm literally almost back to the trailhead. I'm back
where I started, at the Lyle cherry orchard sign.
So that means I am just about back to my car and just about back to my ability to get the hell out of here and to go home for sweet, sweet antisocial rest for the rest of the week. But that also means, alas, that we have to say our goodbyes. But before that, let's do a quick recap. Today, I did the loop around the Lyle cherry orchard here near Lyle, Washington. And along the way, well, luckily along the way, we literally only saw 2 people, and that was at the very end, and that was in passing. So we saw hardly anybody the entire time, and it was wonderful. And yes, the Columbia River train is Columbia River training down, something weird down there. But we also saw the Columbia River train. We saw some cool geology. We saw some creepy orchards. We saw nice views. We saw fire. We saw rain. Oh, wait, that's something else. But we did see rain. We saw clouds. We saw fog. And I think we saw it all. So it is time for me to say goodbye to all of you. And also for me to say, stay introverted, everyone. And if the Columbia River train doesn't run me over, of course I'll see you in the next adventure.